Hey everybody, welcome back to GolfCarTV. My name is Matt with Converted Carts and also GolfCarTV. Thrilled to have a guest back from a time that we had before. I'm going to link their video somewhere on the page here, but also in the description. But Mike and Joe from Cart Life TV, or just Cart Life, they found Cart Life TV on YouTube. Made it from Boca Raton to Key West, Florida, all the way down to mile zero. And we spoke to them prior to their event, or prior to their drive, and now just kind of following up when we hear about the story.
Hey,
Mike and Joe, welcome. Yeah, welcome to back. Welcome back to GolfCarTV. So,
awesome to be
tell
back.
us a little bit. Tell us a little bit. I know this was last Saturday, right? So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the day. Maybe we'll go back maybe in some of the prep stuff, but tell us kind of how the day went. And like I said, I'll throw in some videos. We can see some of the stuff. I'll certainly put links, but tell us how the day went, how it started, and share a little bit about the story.
So I guess we started at his house, really. Went to his house about 5:30 in the morning. Ended up at the shop around 5:45, left, and that was pretty much how it started. We rolled out around 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, and tried to beat the traffic for sure. At least the first 3 hours or so. So that made a big difference. We were able to take a different route than what we were normally planning on doing. Sped up the process a little, probably saved us about an hour on the overall trip. But yeah, that's how it started out. It was an early morning for sure.
Definitely took the better part of a full day.
Yeah.
So for those of us who aren't familiar with Florida in general, explain the route and what changed, what was different from what you planned on, and kind of how that worked out.
Sure. Well, we have our golf cart, and it's registered as a low-speed vehicle, and our initial plan was to take A1A, which is the coastline road, runs up and down north and south of the Florida coastline, right on the beach. Really beautiful road. It's a super slow road. It's one lane each direction, and usually there's a bunch of traffic on there and people riding bikes and running. So typically the traffic's really slow on there, and that's kind of what we've been practicing on, making our runs to Miami and Palm Beach, just to kind of get used to being on the golf cart for that long and kind of see how the golf cart would react to doing that type of mileage and distance in the heat and things like that. And we woke up in the morning that day, and we kind of like rode over to the shop, and we were on Dixie Highway going over there, and there was like nobody around on the road. So we're like, why don't we just kind of cut as much out of the trip as possible and take Federal down? Now, if you watched our Miami video, we took Federal down for a part of the trip when we went past like Fort Lauderdale Airport, and it was really, really like kind of sketchy there. So we wanted to make sure we got past that part of the trip as quickly as possible, because whether we took A1A or Federal Highway, we're going to have to kind of take that part.
There's a spot down in Fort Lauderdale where you got to go around the port, so the A1A doesn't go there. So you have to go out on US 1.
Yeah, it's a huge cruise ship inlet, so there's no bridge.
It's almost like a highway.
Yeah, it basically turns into a highway because of the amount of traffic that has to go through that area. Several roads divert through there to get around the break in the inlet. So we basically bombed Federal Highway as quickly as we could that morning, and we were past Hollywood before the sun came up, which was great.
Yeah.
There was watching the video. You could certainly tell there was not a whole lot of people on the road for a good first portion of the thing. So I'm sure that saved you some time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Plus, even going A1A, once you get down into Miami, you have to cut back. It ends, so you have to cut over to Federal, and it's craziness down there. So we were like, just no traffic, just take US 1 the whole way down.
There were some parts in like Coral Gables, Miami, where University of Miami is, where I-95 ends. Yeah. And I think 826 ends, and several roads end, because you're kind of getting to the end of Florida, and they all kind of diverge and merge into US 1.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of heavy traffic there. Cars coming off a 75-mile-an-hour road into a 40-mile-an-hour road. That was a little hairy too. And then
How did that feel?
I'm sorry.
How did that feel with the cars that were going a certain
Honestly,
speed limit and you guys only going so fast?
It took both of us to pay attention to be able to merge away, like to get over back, out of the way of the cars that are going 75, 80 miles an hour coming off the highway.
It was fun. It was fun. It was scary. It was fun. We paid attention and we got through it. Once we got past that, it was pretty much keeping up with traffic through Homestead because of all the traffic lights.
Oh, there was so many red lights.
That was probably for us. I think that was the longest part of the trip.
Felt like it
because it was we were so anxious to get down to the Keys. We got past Miami. We're in Homestead, which is not a lot going on there. There's an Air Force base and racetrack and just like farms and tree farms and and everything and industry and we're just going traffic light to traffic light down this road, keeping up with traffic. It was to me that was the longest part of the trip, and that brought us all the way to Florida City, where the Florida Keys start, and the second part of our part 2 of our videos start also.
Yeah.
So what was the we'll start with the worst. What was the worst moment of the trip? I might be able to guess it, but for those who may not have watched the video yet, tell me what the worst thing was.
Well, we both have two different ideas of what the worst thing was. Mine was Cart Sound Road, because of us doing 29 miles an hour and cars passing us at 80, 90, probably some of them, and no berm. There was nowhere for us to get out of the road, so we were literally in the road. That was a little scary for me. I know Mike has a different one.
I just want to elaborate on that. When you're in a golf cart and you're pedal down and you're doing 30 miles an hour as fast as you can, and we had a lot of weight on our cart too. Our cart's super heavy. You've seen it. And a car or a truck, think of like an F-250. I think one of them passed us at like 80 miles an hour. The wind from that car going by you just gets under the golf cart, and the whole thing kind of it kind of shakes. It's like being in like a Toyota and an 18-wheeler going by you at 90 on the highway. Same kind of thing. But for me, the scariest part was when we broke down on Cart Sound Road. We've been having issues with our fuel system. It's nothing that is wrong with the golf cart, really. I think it's just because it's not designed to do what we're doing with it, and the cart's getting really hot. The fuel is getting really hot inside the golf cart, and the fuel expands, and the gas fuel system, the fuel cell, isn't venting quick enough to get the fumes out, so it's creating different pressures in the fuel system, the lines and the filters and the carburetor. It's either flooding or just completely drying out because of the changes in the pressure in the system. When we broke down on Cart Sound Road, maybe like 20 minutes into that section of the trip, that was scary for me, because I remember coming back from Miami and breaking down like 10 times because of that problem. And I was thinking to myself, my God, we just went like hours,
so far,
and hours and hours. We're like a few miles from the Keys now. Are we going to be able to make it down the rest of the way? And to me, that was scary, because I didn't want to have to call our wives to come with the trailer to get us.
There was one point, I bet you, that 4 hours, never let off the throttle, wide open.
Like Cart Sound Road was 30 miles, and
that was pretty close.
If we're doing 30 miles an hour, it was an hour down. Pedal down, up and down a bridge, like basically nonstop after that. So there were some an hour, 2 hours without taking our foot off the gas.
Yeah. What was the total time?
10 hours, 38 minutes. And that's
a little bit less. I think. Yeah, if I recall, you guys were thinking maybe 12. I think was that the anticipation?
Yeah, well, we stopped a few times. We wanted to take pictures and see things. We're doing this on the golf cart. We wanted to make sure we got as much content as possible.
There was probably like an hour of us, maybe even a little longer.
Probably more.
Messing around, pictures, gas, talking to people.
Yeah.
We've passed people like or they passed us earlier in the Keys, and then like they'll stop and get dinner or something, and we like stop for gas later, and we're like, were you the same guys? We're way up past there. We're like, yeah. So we ended up talking to a lot of people even on the way down. It was cool.
Really cool. Yeah. So how was that? Tell me about kind of the reception as you were going down. I think you mentioned a couple of honks and stuff. I don't know if those are good honks or if they were encouraging honks, but kind of how did the process go for you?
There were a lot of encouraging honks.
There was a couple of both, I would say, but
I only remember 3 like honks where people were like kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it. I mean, we had our strobe light on. We stayed to the right of the traffic as much as possible, so cars could easily pass us, and we're super visible. You know, that was part of our plan when we built the golf cart, was to be as visible as possible. You know, big red Yeti cooler on the back. We have the flag with the whip going back and forth, and we added that
the strobe light. I think that made a big difference because I felt like it made people think we were like, you know, municipal
or
workers,
service
you know,
vehicle or something. You could see it from a mile away up the road, and I think that helped because we noticed cars kind of pulling to the left, you know, way ahead of time. No one really got super close to us.
No,
you know.
I mean, one guy in Miami almost ran us off the road, but
yes,
that had nothing to do with being behind us.
Yeah.
He was literally in front of us and just cut right over on us.
Yeah. Oh no! So I asked about the worst. So what was the best? What do you feel like was the best moment of the trip?
Pulling into Key West.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was like, holy crap, we really did this.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I think
you'll see the excitement. I mean, it was raining so hard when we rolled into Key West. The roads were flooded, and you could see our excitement at the buoy and the mile marker 0. That it didn't matter. It was it was great.
Yeah, that was cool. Like it felt like it really. I know I put it in the video, but it really felt like when we made that left. Like there's 2 ways. When you get on Key West, you could pull to the right, and it takes you right down there pretty quick.
Yeah.
You go to the left. You kind of take this route around the island, past the airport, up the coast, past the old military base, and you know all that stuff. It really, really felt like a victory lap.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, you know, and it was raining. The rain was hitting
6 inches of water on the road.
Yeah, like everything was flooded. There was a huge storm right before we got there. We kind of got the tail end of it, and I think the rain was like stopping as we pulled up to
the buoy,
the southernmost point, and just getting out of the golf cart there was like victory.
Yeah,
you know, that was
cool.
Really cool. I think another cool thing, and we don't really think about it, was like actually leaving. Like when we pulled out of the parking lot from our shop down around the corner from here, that was kind of a cool feeling too. It was like we're really doing this.
Yeah,
like we're going for it. Yeah, we're going for it. There's nothing stopping us. That's it. We're going, and we made that right on Dixie Highway and started heading south. And I was just like thinking to myself, I'm like, this is it. Do or die. And that was really cool too.
All right, so we had to do a quick little technical change up in the scenery. It's a little bit warmer in Florida than it is here in Ohio, so sometimes phones overheat. So yeah, we hate for that to happen right live on the TV. So I know you guys in the previous video had done. You talked about a bunch of the safety things that you had prepared and things like that. But as far as you going down there, you were on your own. You didn't have like a safety team that was driving alongside you or behind you or anything like that. You guys were all on your own, right?
Yes. Yep. We were on our own. We kind of just went for it. We planned to be on our own the whole time. Like there were some people who wanted to like go with us and do that, but it's kind of thought it was important to just do it, you know, as a golf cart by ourselves and see if we actually could. We didn't drive it back. That's one of the questions we've been getting was, are you driving it back to Boca? And no, we didn't drive it back. Our wives took Joe's truck, Katie and Jen, and thank you to them for doing that for sure. They took the golf cart trailer and they left at 11 o'clock and they actually passed us in Marathon. And if you watch the video, I did a still frame when Joe's truck passed by. They were like honking, and they got to Key West probably a couple hours before us. They left at 11 a.m. and I think they got there around. They got there like 2:30, and we got there at like 4:30. That was the only other vehicle with us, and then it was cool because we got to hang out with them that night and then drive back the next day.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. If you made it a weekend, did you stay overnight and hang out a little bit? Enjoy the time?
It wasn't too rough for them. They got to spend the evening in Key West, so
right, right. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
So what's the future hold for Kart Life and Kart Life TV, the YouTube channel? I'm going to throw up here again where you guys are at Kart Life TV. I know on YouTube is kind of the main. I know you've got socials that have a couple different names, but I know YouTube is probably the best place to go. But what happens next? What are you guys going to do from here?
Well, that's a great question, Matt. I'm glad you asked that. We accidentally broke a world record. I don't know if Guinness is going to accept it because we didn't register it beforehand. However, we did submit it. The current record that's in the Guinness book is 120 miles in 24 hours. I guess it's distance traveled in 24 hours on a golf cart is the record. So we are going to wait to hear from Guinness and see if they do accept it. If they don't, well, we're going to go for it again. We're probably going to go north this time and pre-register the record. And just now that we know it's a 24-hour thing, we're just going to go for it and see how far we can go in 24 hours. And like, obviously, we can go more than 220 miles. We know that.
Yeah. We could have kept going. We just ran out of road. I do
have to say that the way that the guys in the villages in Florida set that record is pretty lame, and I am gonna put that out there because it is. They basically tracked a 10-mile loop and did it 12 times through their neighborhoods in the villages. I don't know. I don't. I think we could do it a little bit better than that. That's not as exciting as what we did. But we are gonna go for that record. And then we were looking at the Guinness book, and there's several golf cart records in there. And I think that what we're gonna try and do on Kart Life TV is break or set as many of those as we possibly can, including the distance record. It's like 1,300 miles right now over 8 days. And this guy in India did it in this little car. It doesn't really look like a golf cart.
Really doesn't.
It's got like doors and things. So we're gonna go for that record also. Long distance. Probably try and do a whole tour of Florida.
Yeah,
which would probably put us well over the record there.
Couple more trips in the works around.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna keep it exciting. Keep working on the golf cart. Do some other builds. Things like that. We got a bunch of stuff planned in the works. It's just we're still kind of settling in after this last trip.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And you have merch. You're wearing some things, you're drinking some things, you've got some things on your head. So I know you've got all kinds of Kart Life merch. So that's available at lowspeedliving.com, right?
Lowspeedliving.com. We got 4, 5, 6 different shirts up there, a few different hats and some other stuff. And
stickers.
There's more stuff coming for sure. Slowly getting it out.
Hopefully by the time this is out, we'll have the merch on convertedcarts.com as well. So hopefully we'll be able to get that worked out too. Yeah.
It all goes to support the channel and our golf cart habits.
So you guys had a sponsor through this whole thing. Do you want to give them a shout out and
absolutely
thank you for them?
Yeah.
Superior Street Golf Carts down here in Florida. They have locations in Boca Raton here, where our shop is, Delray Beach, and Miami. Sanchez and Nick, they've provided us with space to work and helping us all they can. We appreciate them
for sure.
Golf Cart Stuff for sharing our story. Golf Cart Stuff. You, of course, Matt. Thank you so much for sharing it and having us on.
We'll be out in Golf Cart Magazine, October issue.
Golf Carting Magazine, yeah, they interviewed us too, so we're looking forward to that.
Cool.
Yeah, and everybody else who subscribed and supported us, thank you.
Wives for putting up with our crap throughout all this.
Yeah, we're self-funded. This is like a hobby for us. We have real jobs. So we do enjoy this very much, and we just want to keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
Really cool hanging out with you guys again, and I know we've talked about it, but we'll grab a beer down in Florida sometime here soon.
Hopefully you get down here soon. The weather's going to cool down a little bit.
Yeah, get down here and get out of that winter up there.
That's right. I plan on it.
We'll fire up
awesome. We'll
fire up the big green egg and we'll make you some ribs or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you.